going to go ahead and call the Anchorage Election Commission to order. It is November 20th, and the time is 2:08. So if we could have roll call, please.
All right. Joyce Anderson.
Here.
Glennis Ireland.
Here.
Suzanne Miles.
Here.
Cindy Hawkins.
Here.
And Patricia Abney is absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, minutes of previous meetings. We don't have any minutes. The minutes of our previous meeting that we had before this one will be at our January meeting, so we will just leave it as that. Okay, new business is our election commission manual. We've actually met a couple times regarding this, and I know it was sent out and for review. I have looked at it twice and I made a couple suggestions. As you know, you all know me. That's me. That's me. So, does anyone else have any suggestions for the manual, or we can just kind of go through and?
Is this one?
Yes. Yes, I just.
You took this one?
No, I took the one I ran off at home, so
Oh.
because I have my notes on it. Okay. So Suzanne, the manual should be in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we just go through it?
Sure.
Does that sound good? Okay. So on the introduction page, I really didn't have any suggestions.
Well, wait a minute, which manual are you talking about? This one?
Yes,
Oh,
we're
okay.
on page
Oh,
4.
sorry.
We're starting on page 4.
Okay.
The first were just, page numbers and stuff, so I didn't do that. So I didn't see anything on page 4. Okay. I don't see anything on page 5. I did not notice anything on page 6, unless someone else did. Page 7 I did not, which is, maybe I should be stating for the record what these pages are. So, let's see, on page 4 was the introduction. Page 5 is the Election Commission duties, rules, and practices, and that's actually page 5 and 6. Page 7 is review duties, and that's, those are the chores that we are charged with. And then on page 8 is preparing for and holding the public session of canvass. So that was on page 8. And that continues on page 9 and 10. And I do have some questions on page 9. So if everyone wants to turn to page 9. Okay. Okay, my question is under the second bullet point where it says the commission allows public comment. The second sentence there says that provisionally challenged or potentially rejected ballot envelopes are also available for public review upon following the procedures for observers. I don't think I saw in here what the procedures for observers were. Does that mean we would just have an additional manual with us that would say what those procedures are?
Madam Chair, that is correct. The observers, they have their own handbook.
Okay.
And so you would be provided that.
Okay, so then my next question goes under the bullet point under that section where number 1 says challenge the name of the voter. I had thought that the name of the voter was not public information, so I'm confused as to what we're doing there. Does that make sense to everybody, or maybe Cindy, you can clarify that? Since
I believe that is part of the instruction for the observer's manual.
Okay,
And then the observer's manual, because they would be available in a closer context, closer to being able to observe the actual envelopes and be able to challenge by name.
okay, they are. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was
That's my understanding.
that was allowed, because I had thought that they weren't allowed to see the name of the voter.
Well, for instance, if an observer is in the election area and they're going over, let's say it's the review board,
Mm-hmm.
and their actual, or the review committee, the team.
Okay.
If they were going over it and there was an observer in the area, they could be in the presence, because they're able to be off the Yellow Brick Road.
Okay.
They could actually be looking at, or when they're looking at signature verifications,
Okay.
they could be there also challenging, and they could make those challenges at the same time. So I would imagine an observer could be over our shoulders
Okay.
when we are
Okay.
during
I
the
have
meeting.
a question at this point. Are
Go
we
ahead,
going to
Susan.
send a copy of that observer's manual?
It's in this manual.
Oh, it is?
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
At the back.
I didn't realize.
Okay. And what is it under in the back? 'Cause
I
don't.
believe it is under the, they actually have a,
Election ordinances?
Is it under like,
the manual is, I saw it in here.
okay, well, good,
Oh,
because
there it
where is it?
Election commission manual, that's probably where it's at, right?
Oh,
No,
that would be ours.
That close?
I saw it in here earlier.
Okay, well, I did not catch that in here, so that's good, because I was gonna suggest it be put in here.
We like to, yeah, we'll look at that first.
Okay.
We can,
Okay, so as long as it's in the as long as it's in here, if you want, we'll double check, as long as it's in here, I'm okay. Because I think that's important for us to kind of know what it was. That's why I was asking that question. And I see that the municipal clerk, Barbara Jones, is joining our meeting.
Hi, I just wanted to come by, say hello, welcome. I don't think you need me, so I actually have another meeting scheduled at this time, but I did want to say hi.
Okay, all right.
It's good to see you.
Thank
Good to see you.
You're welcome.
You're walking so well.
Oh, thank you, I'm feeling awesome.
Good.
Yeah. And as Joyce knows, I just got back from Africa.
Yes,
so
she did.
Oh, wow.
I feel really good.
Wow. Good, good, good.
And you had a good trip?
Really, really good trip.
Good,
Did you see
good.
giraffes?
Pardon?
Did you see giraffes?
I did, as a matter of fact.
I want to see a real
Yeah.
one.
A giraffe?
I've never seen a real one.
Oh, what? Okay, well, we'll have to hear about it sometime.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody, and let
Okay.
us know if you need anything, okay?
All right, we will.
Certainly.
Okay,
So just for the record.
it's in the very back?
The Observer's Manual is under the election ordinances, and at the end of that, it is part of an Appendix A.
I don't have that.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Okay.
oh, excuse me, there's a hand to be recognized.
Yes.
Madam Chair, we are looking into updating it as well, so
Okay.
that is possibly why it is not in your
Okay.
binder.
I was
But you
saying,
will
I-
have one.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I thought maybe I didn't look clear enough.
Well, there you go.
So thank you. You're welcome. I mean, I was like, okay, so we're gonna make sure that it's in here.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
thank you. Okay,
Wonder how
yeah, well, you're special. You're special.
You and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so, that answers that question.
Okay.
That was my question about how can you challenge the name if we're not supposed to see it. Okay, got that. Okay, on the next bullet point, the second sentence, it says the election commission by majority vote may accept. We're not accepting a ballot. Remember, we were gonna take that out.
Where's that?
The
Yeah.
second sentence, where it says the election commission by majority vote
Mhm.
may accept. I think we should say the election commission by majority vote may accept or refuse to accept a ballot envelope, period. And then we should say, if the ballot envelope is accepted, the commission may accept a partial ballot by authorizing the count. So we're talking about two different things. We're talking about accepting the ballot envelope, and then we're also saying about a partial ballot, only those races that are applicable. Does that make sense? So let me read that again. I think what we should say is the election commission by majority vote may accept or refuse to accept a ballot envelope. Cross out the rest of that sentence.
Where
And
are
the
you?
count? Does it count out?
Right, because we're doing another sentence on that one.
Page
Oh, got it.
So the next one says, if the ballot envelope is accepted, which is taking care of the, properly challenged person. So we say if the ballot envelope is accepted, the commission may, so we're gonna put something in front of the commission. The commission may accept a partial ballot by authorizing the count of only those races and questions for which the voter was qualified. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we're talking about the envelope first being accepted or we're gonna either accept or refuse to accept it. And then the second sentence is saying, if it is accepted, then we're gonna count the ballot. Does that make sense? Cindy?
I'm just reading it through just to make sure.
Okay.
But generally, yes, I do agree that we are not.
Okay, well, let me read the whole section then. The person making the challenge shall specify the basis of the challenge in writing. And then in parentheses, the municipal clerk or designee shall have available challenge forms from the observer's manual. The election commission by majority vote may accept or refuse to accept a ballot envelope, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about making a challenge.
You're going to eliminate and count?
Yes, because then the next sentence is going to talk about counting if the ballot envelope, we're only going to do this if it's accepted. So if the ballot envelope is accepted, the commission may accept a partial ballot by authorizing the count of only those races and questions for which the voter was qualified. Does that make sense? I mean, it does to me. Cindy, are you?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the history of how this probably got entered, and I would, without knowing, I would have to go look at the actual observer's manual, because I have a feeling it was directly maybe taken from that as a pattern, because again, if the observer's manual is indicating they're actually possibly looking at a name, or I guess in the past maybe they would have looked at ballots. I don't think. No, anyway, I do agree. Joyce,
Okay.
I do. Madam Chair.
Maybe instead of saying a ballot envelope, we should say the ballot envelope, because we're talking about a person making a challenge shall specify the basis of the challenge, and then we're saying that the commission by majority vote may accept or refuse to accept the ballot envelope, because they're making a challenge for one ballot. So let's change to the, where I said that, okay. And then, if the ballot envelope is accepted, then we may accept a partial ballot by authorizing the count of only those races and questions for which the voter was qualified. So what we're saying is, maybe they voted at the school that they work at, but that's not where they live, so that they're not eligible for some, for some of those races like we've done before. Does that make sense? Okay. It was just a little confusing to me. So, because we weren't accepting a ballot, we were actually accepting the ballot envelope.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't like the word accept a ballot in there, because we kind of changed everything to ballot.
We did it, actually.
Yeah, okay.
So if that then is consistent with the language that we use throughout, that is really what we're going for.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
So I have then ballot envelope, if I could just clarify with you and with the group. Challenge, it starts with that inserted second dot of the first bullet. We would add envelope
Yes,
after
yes.
ballot.
Well, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, challenge the rejection of a ballot envelope under the second bullet point here.
Yep.
Number 2. Thank you. I kind of went through that with that thought in mind, but then that's why we need lots of eyes. Okay.
Yeah, so I think, yes, I would agree with
Okay.
this.
All right. Do we need to make a motion and a vote after each change, or can we do it globally?
Madam Chair, I believe you can do the whole thing all at once if you're ready.
That would be better. Okay. Is everyone in agreement with that then? Okay. All right. Okay, on page 10, which we're still preparing for and holding the public session of Canvas, under the second bullet point where it says the review and resolution team on behalf of the municipal clerk shall mail a notice of, it's not a ballot rejection, because we haven't looked at the ballot. It's a notice of a ballot envelope. We're continuing to use the word, or just notice of rejection. Can we take out the word ballot and say?
I think you should.
Yeah, so the review and resolution team on behalf of the municipal clerk shall mail a notice of rejection to the voter for all ballot envelopes rejected, because then we're saying it part,
Yeah.
later on in there.
Yep.
So we would take ballot out.
Right, before the word rejection, we would take out the word ballot. So let me read it again. The review and resolution team on behalf of the municipal clerk shall mail a notice of rejection
Yep.
to the voter for all ballot envelopes rejected by the commission. That makes perfect sense to me.
Yep.
Okay, everyone in agreement with that one? Okay. Okay, page 11. Don't look at all my red marks. Okay, so, under the first bullet points, on the top of the page, the second to the last one, where it says the total number of rejected ballots, we need to say the total number of rejected ballot envelopes.
Okay.
Because we're only doing the ballot envelopes, with the commission. So we're gonna take the SOP ballots and put in the word envelopes.
Envelope or envelopes? Plural.
Plural, I think it should be plural.
When you're saying the total number.
Rejected ballot envelopes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You okay with that, Cindy? slow down. I have a tendency to move fast.
Yeah, and I have a tendency to, you know.
And that's okay.
To put everything in context.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So we're good. We're good. Okay.
So, for clarification, and I don't know if the election coordinator would be able to help on this one, when it indicates that the municipal clerk's office prepares the election certification report for the Anchorage Assembly at the top. I'm reading. This report appears as though it also includes information that would be from the certification, I mean, the actual numbers after
Ballots are counted.
ballots are counted,
Exactly.
correct?
Exactly. That's the way I'm
So
reading
we're
it.
combining two things?
Yes.
Okay.
They're saying that the municipal clerk's office prepares this, but the number they get of the rejected ballot envelopes is from us. Strictly us, not anything to do with the county ballots.
So we have email ballots that are cast,
Right.
actually counted.
Yes.
Fax ballots actually cast, counted.
Special needs ballots,
Total vote by mail countable.
Right.
Which would be ballots.
see, I would suggest that those two be reversed. Because
That
it would be,
by mail countable.
yeah, the last one be the total number of rejected ballot envelopes, and the total vote by mail countable is listing all of the ones above it. It just
Mhm.
reads better. So we would do a reverse of those two.
That would make sense to me.
Is that, okay?
Which two?
So we're moving the total vote by mail countable after the total number of fax ballots cast, because it makes more sense. That's why I was at a question mark here too. So what we're doing is we're saying, here these are all cast, and then we're saying what the total vote by mail countable is, and then we're saying, here's what was rejected by the election commission. Okay.
And I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be controversial here at all, or to challenge what you're suggesting. Yes, we have rejected or denied ballot envelopes, but strictly speaking, we are rejecting the ballots.
Right.
Right, okay.
Right. True. Excuse me.
So I guess my question is in fact, are what we saying the total number of rejected ballots, or is it rejected ballot envelopes?
It's envelopes because we are rejecting ballots. We're rejecting the envelope. We're rejecting the person that mailed it in, the envelope, we didn't count the ballot. We didn't reject any ballots because these ballots weren't fed into the tabulator. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Yeah. The only ones that, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Too? So we're rejecting the total number of ballot envelopes. We're rejecting the ballots, but we don't know if there's a ballot in every envelope. Maybe somebody sent in an envelope with no ballot. So I don't think we can use the word ballot.
Okay, and I agree, because I remember reading in the list of terms in the
Mhm.
back,
Yep.
it actually says a rejected ballot is a ballot that is found not to be countable by the tabulating equipment and will be facsimile in order to be counted.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So-
Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. In the next section, where it says the Election Commission's public canvass report includes the following, and then we say rejected ballot envelopes. Well, the first bullet is really not a reason why. So I think we should say rejected ballot envelopes with list of ballot envelope rejection reasons, such as following. That should be all one sentence. Because that's not really a rejected ballot. It's just saying that we're providing a list.
Yep.
So
Move that bullet up to.
move that bullet up to the top. Okay? I'm sorry I'm a little picky, but that's the way I am. Okay.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, okay. So down to voter does not meet certification requirements. That's pretty broad. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. I didn't know we had a category, and I didn't.
Are you talking about not, didn't provide ID or something like that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
We don't have a category that
We don't
says
have
certification.
We don't have a
required.
term, a list of term for certification requirements, so I'm not quite sure.
I'm trying to think of where I saw it discussed.
Okay.
That would be another section.
Madam Chair, it's reject code O,
Oh, okay, thank you. Let me look.
Mm-hmm.
page 15.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah, does not meet.
That explains it
Do you know what I put here? What does this mean under that definition? So
What?
Does that relate to,
Okay,
special needs?
The definition is on page 13.
right. I'll tell you what, why don't we just leave that there and we'll go to, when we go to the definitions, because I had a question about that. So we'll just leave that. That makes sense to me now. Okay, so we're good. So if we go down to just before the word total, where it says total rejected envelopes, should say total rejected ballot envelopes, so we're consistent.
But then, yeah,
And then the next one says the same thing. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure what those, I've circled that and I said the same. So where it says total rejected envelopes and then it says total ballot envelopes rejected right underneath it,
Mhm.
one of those needs to go.
I think you're right. I think.
So the
it's-
one I just made the change in should go.
Yeah.
yes, I agree.
So we'll take that one out. They're the same.
The last bullet.
Yes, the last bullet before the
last
total,
bullet.
word total.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got total ballot envelopes rejected, total email rejected, total fax rejected, total special needs rejected, and then just total rejected.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
All right, that makes more sense. In the bottom paragraph, at the end of the second line, I think we should take out if so. I don't know why that's there. That doesn't make any sense to me. We should just say the municipal clerk or designee will submit the election commission public canvas report, da-da-da-da-da. Not if so, because we are gonna submit it. I mean, it's like a, what if? I mean, I don't know. Okay? I appreciate all your
No, no.
thoughtfulness.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, we're gonna take if so out. Well, I didn't find anything on page 12, guys.
Uh-oh, must have been a mistake.
Okay, we're on page 13. And we're down to O. Okay. It says, this code is used if the voter marked through any of the certification requirements.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
On the envelope, the question envelope, any of those envelopes that would be given out at one of our voting
Precinct.
facilities, then one of the qualifications right up front that they have to answer is, are they a U.S. citizen? Are they 18 years old? That is part of that certification. They actually have to check.
Okay, so.
And verify
Well,
those.
that's why I don't understand, because it says mark through any of the certification requirements on the voter or check no on the citizenship, birth date, or residency.
So you're thinking it's redundant. I would
I-
have to see an envelope.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm with you. I would have thought it would have been no citizen birth, you know what I mean? So I don't know what the difference is between marked through any of the certification requirements or checked. I'm not following what that means.
Why don't you just put mark through or check any of,
I guess I would be hesitant to change anything unless I saw an envelope.
Right, and that's what, so maybe
Yeah.
we could, maybe what you could do is, send out an envelope and we'll look at it through
Yeah,
email
take a
and
photo
let
later.
you know.
Madam Chair, yes, I can
Okay.
scan and send you that.
Yeah, that was my question, because it sounded like they were meaning the same thing, but it says or. So I'm not quite sure what that means.
Oh, I wonder if it is just strictly, if you were to interpret it as marked through, did they like cross out the line
Mhm.
versus
Oh.
just
Yeah.
marking no?
Okay, well, that could be. That's why I said I
Mhm.
wasn't sure what that meant. Okay,
Voter marked through any of the certification requirements, or the voter.
or checked, no.
Mhm.
Or check no, because there's a yes, no, or a little box that
Oh,
I
I
can
got
check.
it. Okay.
Versus to draw the line through.
Okay, so sometimes maybe we don't know if it meant yes or no because they drew a line through it, so we're not sure if they meant they were a citizen or they were not a citizen. Okay, I can go with that.
just leave it like it is then.
That would be my interpretation of what that sentence is.
Okay. Yeah, I was just a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then it's fine as it stands.
We'll leave it as it stands, because or definitely means two different things instead of an and.
It does,
So,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, I had nothing on page 14 for suggestions, and page 14 is continuing the ballot reject codes and definitions. And on page 15 is a brief summary of count and reject code, so it's just a summary of what it was. I didn't see anything there. On page 16, and then we need to know what suggestions Pat made too, or were they already in here?
Madam Chair, she did not send any
Oh,
suggestions.
I thought you said she did. Okay.
No, she is out of town until December.
Oh, okay, all right. So on page 16, first of all, under where it's italicized there. Okay, so ballot envelopes will be counted if they are received on or before election day without a postmark. Voter printed name, made a mark, or signed using initials. And then this is in italicized, and I'm not sure why. If there is some indication that the name, mark, or initial were made by the voter. How would we know that?
I think this comes into,
Special needs?
no, well, yes, special needs too. Because, but these are talking about general all ballot envelopes.
Right.
When the signature verification is taking place, I'm wondering if there's a clarification. I would hate to change anything here.
I don't think it
that
needs to
would
be
affect-
changed, I think it needs to be clarified.
Okay.
Yes, that would be my point. I don't, if we as the election commission are going to do this, and it said if there is some indication, we don't have any guidelines as to what that means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel that, yes, that makes sense,
There's some indication of the-
but I feel that we need some guidelines. So I don't know if there are some guidelines someplace else.
And have somebody else sign for that.
Right, right. I remember this coming up during our canvass.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm a little concerned that it sort of leaves it open-ended and there's nothing there to really refer to. So, more possibly, we got a copy of the signature from the screen, which we did, so
Which-
maybe there needs to be.
And it could just be a mark, you know, it
Mhm.
could just be an X, you know, because they're, without knowing exactly what their signature is.
Right,
But there should be a matchup, or we would have asked for verification that that
Right.
is their mark. During the process of the review and resolution teamwork would be going through, they would be questioning possibly that. So
Okay.
coming back to us, if there's some indication of name, mark, or initial were made by the voter.
I think we should add something on there, like the signature, you know, the signature verification team will provide additional information, even as short as that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because otherwise, I'm not sure what we would do.
And I think somewhere within, if it's not part of this document, someplace in our larger manual, it talks about our guidelines are the same as the review and resolution team.
Well, then I think we should put
Making
that here.
Yeah.
Let's put a note in here. Cindy, what would you suggest for language, since you're more familiar with that than me?
As
Provided by?
by the review and resolution team,
Okay,
as provided by the review and resolution guidelines.
there we go.
We'll see how that flies.
I mean, I hope, are y'all in agreement with me? We need a little bit more clarification there? Yeah.
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's always better to have a little explanation or clarification
Yes.
for all of us.
Okay, well, that was my concern there. Okay, so we're gonna say, as provided by the review and resolution guidelines. Okay, I feel better with that. Okay. On the next page, we have count, no count guidelines. Okay. Okay, I'm a little, I need a little bit of a clarification where it says challenge special needs and email and fax ballot requests. And then the very next one says ballot envelopes and requests. I keep saying envelopes and envelopes, excuse me, I go back and forth. Ballot envelopes and requests will not be counted if. So we have never really looked, have we looked at a fax ballot request or an email request?
Never.
Not that I know of. I always thought it was done by another team.
I
And it
think
was
it is.
rejected at that time so that they didn't even get one. versus coming to us, but maybe you can clarify that.
Well, Madam Chair, I would interpret this not necessarily to be inclusive, challenge special needs and email and fax, even though it says that. I am not aware of the requests. Oh, wait, well, they do have to request and fill out a form.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do, yes, they do.
And the challenge special needs also need to be requested by
Filling
an
out, right.
officer of some person that has that filled out. So ballot envelopes and requests will not be counted.
And so I don't understand, because I don't think we've ever looked at a request, we've only looked at ballot envelopes.
You know, reason to look for a request because you're not counting.
So I'm a
those
little confused on why that's there.
For verification.
Well, so these would be the reasons, if I'm following back through the logic of it, the rejection letter designations which follow.
Right,
the
right.
GG and Z.
Mm-hmm.
Those would have been provided to us by the review and resolution team.
So we really did not have any then that we're aware of, that's why I don't remember seeing them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was
Mhm.
correct there.
Yeah, that's done before it hits us.
And then, under ballot envelopes and requests will be counted, all of that is in italics and probably should be taken out. Because the rest of it isn't in italics.
Mhm.
All right, well, that makes more sense now, because I don't remember ever seeing one
Mhm.
in the, in the years, well, the 2 years that we've had for, or 2 elections for vote by mail.
Wait a minute.
All right,
Oh. I'm confused.
you need further clarification?
Well, kind of. On the page before you go on the count, no count guidelines, when you're over on page 16.
On 16, okay,
yeah,
let's go
you're
back to
talking about
16.
Ballot envelopes will be counted. That's all this italicized stuff that you just looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have 2 sets of commentary for ballot envelopes?
Because one is for ballot envelopes and then the other one is for the special
Special
needs.
needs.
Oh,
email and
excuse me, I'm
fax.
sorry.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
email and fax, which we look at a little bit differently. Okay.
I did
No,
notice one
no.
other thing, Madam Chairman.
Okay.
On the number 4, under the challenge special needs, if
Mhm.
these are actually designated with their rejection codes, no witness or representative signature does not have a code attached to it.
Okay, I see that now, yes. Okay, let's see. So it's voter, no witness, okay. Inadequate witnessing is a Y,
Okay, so that should be a Y.
so that should be a Y.
Where?
On number 4,
Where it says no witness or
Yeah, oh,
representative
yeah.
signature, we're gonna add Y.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Brain's not working too fast. I haven't had coffee today.
Okay. All right. I also think about the italics on page 16, we'll take that out as well. Even though we added that language on the end, I don't think there needs to be any italics there. Because that was, if there is some indication that were made by the voter.
it looks pretty.
Well, I know that. I guess I'm just
It is confusing.
I really listen to my English teacher.
Yes, well, yeah, it suggests that you should pay special attention to that section if it's italicized, and there's no reason to really look at it differently.
Or it almost seems like it should be in parents or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, what do you want to do? You want to leave it italicized, or? you
No,
wanna-
just make it like the regular.
Make it regular? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, page 18 is a list of terms. So an accessible vote center. So, Michael, I guess I'm sorry, I'm very picky. So voters may come to an accessible vote center, not to turn in, but to drop off. I like drop off better, because turn in sounds funny to me. Drop off, and we're gonna say a completed mailed
How
ballot
about the
return
deliver
envelope.
of it? How about deliver instead of turning the drop off?
To deliver, we can use deliver. That sounds even better. Okay, so we're gonna say voters may come to an AVC to deliver a completed mailed ballot return envelope. Take out and voted ballot, because we don't know there's a voted ballot in there. Replace a lost or damaged ballot. Receive a ballot package if they did not receive one in the mail. Vote a question ballot. Review voting assistance and get help with other voter questions. I think that sounds better. So we're gonna say voters may come to an ABC to deliver a completed mailed ballot return envelope. Replace lost or damaged ballot. Because we don't know there's a voted ballot inside that envelope, because maybe there's not one in there. So I took that out, we took that out before. Does that sound okay? Okay. On the next one, I'm just being picky again, after the word LRSA's and the parentheses, there should be a period.
I don't think there should be an apostrophe.
Huh?
No, we take the apostrophe off of LRSA's too.
Yeah,
Okay.
just nursing.
Okay. And then down under election official,
Why is that parentheses there?
it's more like an aside, like they're saying
Oh.
ballot type and ballot style numbers are also sometimes referred to as a ballot,
Okay.
as ballot card numbers, so it's just more of a, that's,
Explain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Under election official, I think we should add the word and I'll tell you where. A person appointed by the municipal clerk to work preparing for and conducting election activities. We're not just preparing for conducting.
Mhm.
We're preparing for and conducting election activities.
Say it again, just comment.
No, a person appointed by the municipal clerk to work preparing for and conducting election activities. Because we're really doing both.
What?
Okay.
That sentence is a weird construction.
Preparing for and conducting election activities.
I don't think so, but if you want one there, that's fine.
Okay, that's fine too.
Do you think there should be one there, Sue or Cindy? No, I don't.
No.
Okay. Sorry about that. No.
This is a weird sentence construction.
What, the one we just had?
Yeah, I wanted to read, a person appointed by the municipal clerk to work preparing for and conducting election activities, including members of the election commission. Or to include, I don't know, that little tag, that last phrase isn't properly attached. I mean, I understand what they mean, but it's weird.
And I think including is right.
Okay.
The grammar Nazi
Because we're
strikes
using
again.
INGs on, okay, we'll say instead of includes and including. Including members of the election commission. Okay. Anything else? Okay, on page 19, we're still on a list of terms. I think under pending, we need to change the word count on the last part of the sentence to accept. It should say ballot envelopes are not yet fully processed and or needing further review before the final determination is made to accept or reject. We're not counting, we're accepting, we're going to accept or reject the ballot envelope.
Where are you on this?
Under pending,
No, that sounds good.
Gotcha. Yes.
under public canvas, or public session of canvas, I personally hate the word "its," so I would like to take that out.
Everybody wants to stick the apostrophe.
A
in it.
meeting at which the election commission announces decisions.
Yeah.
We don't have to say its decisions. It's one of my personal pet peeves, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It's.
Well, that it is referring directly to the commission.
commission.
Yeah,
In there.
but we're saying that the commission announces decisions. I don't think we need to say its.
Yeah,
Is everybody,
that's okay.
okay. Under question ballot, on the very bottom line where it says count or reject, we need to say accept or reject. We're doing that again, we're not counting the ballot, we're accepting or rejecting the
Mhm.
ballot.
Discussion?
Yes?
This is a list of terms, and the term we're looking at is question ballot, not necessarily an envelope.
Okay, let's look at that again, good point. A
Mhm.
ballot voted at an accessible vote center which has been segregated because the information on the election register is not the same as the voter's information.
Then you're
The
talking
voter
about
puts the
ballot.
ballot into a secrecy envelope and places it into a question ballot envelope. So the election commission or election officials may verify information on the envelope to determine whether to accept or reject. Well, we're still talking about accepting or
ballot.
rejecting a ballot envelope. Does that make sense?
Well,
I
we
had to
would
read-
be rejecting the ballot envelope, but eventually, of course, the ballot would be counted.
Right.
So again, we're going back to the definition of a question ballot.
Okay.
So if the object of the question ballot is to whether to count it, I'm still questioning that.
Okay, well, let's read it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, our mission's not to verify question ballots validity, is it?
No.
Well, that belongs to somebody else, so we wouldn't see that.
True, so is it more a question, is it the questioned ballot envelope?
Yes.
Because right below it says question ballot envelope is the envelope containing a question ballot.
Yep.
So a ballot voted in an accessible vote center, which has been segregated because the information on the election register is not the same as the voter's information.
They're talking about the question ballot
The voter-
envelope in that paragraph.
Right, so the voter puts the ballot into a secrecy envelope and places it into a question ballot envelope. So the election commission or election officials may verify the information on the envelope to determine whether to accept or reject. We're still accepting or rejecting the ballot envelope at that time, even though they've already voted the ballot. That's the way I'm reading it? Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Under registered voter, do you think instead of by meeting certain qualifications, we should say by meeting certain state and municipal qualifications?
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry, registered voter,
Mhm.
a citizen that establishes entitlement to vote by meeting certain qualifications. Do you think we should say certain state and muni qualifications?
What makes it more
Succinct, yeah. And then change and to by filling out necessary paperwork?
What? You're changing the meaning.
No, I don't think so. We can take out state or muni. I just think it's
more clear.
right, because we're really looking at state regulations and muni regulations
We
for
are looking at
registered.
state and.
Yeah. So by meeting certain state and muni reg qualifications
Mhm.
by filling out necessary paperwork.
Okay.
No, because they're meeting qualifications
And filling
out.
You got it.
necessary
Yep.
paperwork.
Okay. All right.
So what is it?
We're going to say a citizen that establishes entitlement to vote by meeting certain state and muni qualifications and filling out necessary paperwork that is maintained in the central registry by the
I'll
state.
do it.
Okay. Okay. Page 20. Only got one more.
Ooh.
Temporary address ballot. I guess I feel that wording is pretty weird. A ballot voted before or on election day by a person away from their home residence and may be voted in person or by mail.
Mhm.
I understand what they're trying to say there, but, so a temporary address ballot is, maybe we should say a ballot voted by a person away from their home residence before or on
It's a question
election day.
ballot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
No, it's
Yeah,
not
it is.
question ballot, no, this is the ones that
a
are.
temporary address like they're in California or, right, or,
Without searching this document, I'm wondering if any of these terms are used elsewhere in other election materials? Or is it only within the election commission guide?
I don't know.
Through the chair, we try and have the terms and the definitions mirror
Mhm.
all over. I would
Okay.
have to look into and see where it is. The
Okay.
review and resolution team, the signature verification team, even on our email or
Okay.
our web pages,
Okay.
just to make sure they all are consistent.
Okay, okay.
Temporary address ballot. Before or on election day.
And I don't understand if they're a temporary address, why they would be voted in person.
No, maybe away already.
Doesn't temporary address ballot mean that, like I said, they're in California or they're in Europe or wherever, or maybe not? I don't know. I have no idea. I just thought I didn't understand what it said.
Well, it's possible that they received that information and came home and then voted a different.
Ah, we did get that. We did have that
Yeah.
scenario. We did. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm fine. It just seems kind of funny.
I'm trying to remember where I saw it all in our document.
Okay. Well, those were my suggestions. That's it.
Okay.
I can go home and my husband will tell me I got my 10,000 words in for the day, so that I don't have to say anything.
What is this for?
Oh, that goes in the front of your manual.
Yeah.
It's our attendance. Right?
Okay. Are there any other comments?
Is there any, Madam Chair, is there any way of us assuring, I guess, the clerk's office or in this case, any election official that would be, I'm concerned if we've changed any language here that it's going to affect anything on the review and resolution team, anything that would be in conflict.
Okay.
And again, I'm coming from the other side.
Sure.
Which may be
Well,
not applicable. but-
what I would suggest then is that the changes be reviewed by Barbara, and she can let us know if there's any conflict with,
Yeah, that's good.
with anything that we've done. I think that would be a very good idea.
I think they were
agree.
very valuable changes, clarifying many things, so
Right.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so we'll wait to hear from Barbara, and if there's anything that we need to change or whatever, we have a January meeting. And we can look at it again in our January meeting and make any additional clarifications or whatever Barbara would suggest. How does that sound?
Did we set the January meeting?
No, we have not set the January meeting yet. I don't know if we want to pick a date right now. We probably have to wait to see when staff is available. So,
Madam Chair, you can pick a date right now. Our January it's gonna get a lot busier at the end of January, but beginning, middle is gonna be okay.
what is our requirement? Any time in January, or is there a specific time period in January?
I believe it says, code says anytime in January.
Anytime, okay. Good. Okay, do we want to do that then?
I am going to be out of town until I return on the 16th. So that would be my restriction.
Are we keeping these?
Suzanne, what is your schedule?
I'm open.
So you're back on the 16th, which is a Thursday, okay? Martin Luther King Day is Monday, the 20th. Do we want to meet on Tuesday, the 21st?
Actually, may I amend whether I'm available? I actually return on the 14th.
Oh, okay. What do we want to do? Do you have any conflicts?
No.
You're sure? Say that pretty. Okay. So our January meeting, Suzanne?
Whatever.
Okay, what works for you then, Cindy? Because you're the one
As
coming
early as the
back.
15th, whatever from 15th on would be.
Okay, Wednesday, January 15th?
That's right after you get back, though.
I know, it's
That's
the day after
fine.
you get
I'm
back.
just coming back from Seattle. I'm on West Coast time, so.
Oh,
Okay.
I was just saying, we're gonna leave it with you, so you wanna do January 15th? Okay, let's do January 15th, it's a
Get back at
Wednesday.
7 in the evening. It's not like a.
Okay, how about if we do an afternoon one, how about 1 o'clock? 1 o'clock on Wednesday, January 15th, we will have our yearly commission meeting. And then you can let us know whether to be here or at the warehouse.
Okay, Madam Chair, would you like to have 1 hour or 2 hours?
2,
Yeah,
I think 2.
just in case.
Today, we only really had a half hour, but knowing me. Plus, we need to elect a chair in January, so I want everyone to think about that.
It won't be me.
Okay, so January 15th at 1 p.m. And then you'll let us know whether it's here or out at the, I call it the warehouse, call it election center, whatever. Okay. All right, so we're under member comments. Are there any other comments by members?
No comments.
Anybody?
Thank you for all your diligence in bringing all those changes. I did a couple of grammatical things and sent it to Amy, but otherwise,
Okay.
delve into it as deeply as you did.
Okay. Any other member comments, Suzanne?
No comments.
No comment.
Okay. We have no public, there's nobody online? Nobody online? Okay.
To thank Amy for all her hard work.
Yes,
and
yes,
giving-
please, Amy. Well, thank you for putting
And
all this
apologize
together.
for any future work that we put you through.
Okay, Amy, do you have anything you want to comment to the commission?
Madam Chair, no, I don't.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, I will, do we need a motion and a second for adjournment? Some meetings do and some don't.
Yes.
We do, okay, I wasn't sure. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Okay, Suzanne
Second.
moves.
I'll second.
Okay, we are adjourning the meeting and it is exactly 3 o'clock.
Bueno.
All right,